There have been rumors and controversies surrounding Diddy for years, but recent events have taken the situation to a whole new level. Federal authorities have conducted raids on his properties, uncovering troubling details that have left many in shock. Even former FBI Deputy Chief Andrew McCabe commented on the investigation, explaining that it is linked to multiple civil claims suggesting Diddy recorded questionable activities within his homes. What exactly did the authorities find during their search? And how deep does this case really go? The revelations could be far more significant than initially thought. Before diving into these findings, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more in-depth content on this and other unfolding stories. The raids on Diddy's properties earlier this year signaled that law enforcement was dealing with serious allegations. Andrew McCabe pointed out that the government's investigation appeared to stem from information related to ongoing civil lawsuits. These claims involved accusations that Diddy had recorded various activities, which raised enough concern to warrant a search for evidence. Law enforcement executed these raids to potentially find recordings or other materials that could tie him to illegal activities. Simultaneous raids across multiple properties were not a random move. As McCabe explained, this is a common strategy used by law enforcement to prevent suspects from hiding or destroying evidence. If authorities were to search just one location, the subject would likely be alerted and have enough time to dispose of incriminating materials at other properties. By conducting raids at multiple locations at the same time, authorities increase their chances of discovering crucial evidence. The precautions taken during these raids, such as the presence of a large police force and heavy security measures, raised many questions. However, these actions were not without reason. Diddy has a history with law enforcement that goes back several years, including incidents involving altercations and accusations of drug possession. Given this background, officials knew that any interaction with him required heightened security and careful planning. In law enforcement, suspects classified as armed and dangerous receive a different level of attention during raids, requiring tactical preparation to ensure the safety of everyone involved. This label is not given lightly. It involves a detailed assessment of the suspect's past behavior and current status. In Diddy's case, his history of conflicts with law enforcement justified the heightened precautions. There were also rumors about Diddy's properties containing underground tunnels, leading some to speculate that he might use them for quick escapes or storing illegal items. While these specific claims were proven false, they contributed to a general suspicion surrounding Diddy's lifestyle and activities. The extensive resources at his disposal made it plausible to think that he could have created secret passages for questionable purposes. Thus, the authorities' approach to the raids reflected this understanding. They were not only searching for evidence, but also preparing for the unexpected. Now, let's look at what the authorities found during their search. Images and reports from the scene show that Diddy's estates were left in a state of disarray. Safes were pried open, drawers were emptied, and closets were ransacked. Boxes of ammunition were found scattered across various rooms, suggesting that the search was both thorough and intense. Media outlets released pictures showing the aftermath, indicating just how extensive the operation was. The level of disorganization inside the properties painted a picture of a situation far more serious than what some had previously assumed. Among the items reportedly discovered were firearms, various narcotics, and a large number of other items that raised further questions. For example, agents found several AR-15 rifles, a variety of drugs, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil. These findings match some of the claims made in civil lawsuits against Diddy, adding weight to the suspicions surrounding his activities. The presence of such a wide range of items suggested that what took place at these properties was not just simple gatherings, but rather something more organized and controlled. Retired LAPD investigator Moses Castillo weighed in on the situation, highlighting the need for support for the individuals who have come forward with claims against Diddy. According to federal authorities, Diddy exerted significant influence over others, pressuring them into activities they might not have willingly participated in. This pattern of behavior reportedly spanned more than a decade, with claims that he used his power and resources to ensure compliance. Victims described how they were subjected to verbal threats and pressure to participate, indicating that Diddy maintained tight control over those around him. Attorney Richard Schoen emphasized that this case involves severe charges, including racketeering, trafficking, interstate activities, arson, and kidnapping. These accusations cover a broad time frame and multiple locations, making this one of the most intricate investigations in recent history. The sheer scale of these alleged activities means that the case will likely take considerable time to unfold fully. The prosecutors in the Southern District have already hinted at the possibility of listing additional defendants as the investigation continues, suggesting that more individuals may soon be implicated. While the case against Diddy seems to grow stronger, his defense team is actively preparing strategies to counter the charges. One angle they might pursue is to argue that the gatherings and activities in question were voluntary. By framing these events as situations where everyone involved agreed to participate, they could try to lessen the severity of the accusations. This defense could be challenging, especially given the detailed testimonies and evidence gathered so far. Legal experts note that the consistency in the accounts from various witnesses presents a significant obstacle for Diddy's defense team. It is believed that Diddy's lawyers will attempt to argue that certain behaviors were typical within certain social circles and that those present had willingly participated. They might claim that these gatherings were simply part of a lifestyle and not something that involved coercion or control. However, this argument might not hold up against the evidence and the statements from multiple individuals who have filed complaints. The fact that so many people have come forward with similar stories suggests that these were not isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of behavior. Despite these efforts, the severity and nature of the charges indicate that a trial is almost inevitable. Former federal prosecutor N. Ramani pointed out that following such raids, investigations often intensify. This means that as more evidence surfaces, additional individuals could face charges, and the list of defendants may expand. The authorities are building a case that goes beyond isolated events, suggesting a long-standing pattern of activities spanning years and involving various locations. Diddy's situation appears to be growing more precarious. He has been placed on suicide watch, which underscores the gravity of the circumstances he is facing. Former inmate Larry Levine, who is familiar with prison conditions, commented that Diddy's time in detention will be far from easy. Being on suicide watch means constant surveillance, limited privileges, and minimal social interaction. This starkly contrasts with the lifestyle of luxury and influence he once enjoyed, highlighting how dramatically his circumstances have changed. Authorities are considering placing Diddy in a special cell with a plexiglass wall to allow guards to monitor him at all times. This step aims to prevent any potential self-harm, underscoring the seriousness of his current situation. The freedom and power he once had have now been replaced with strict supervision and limited control over his environment. It is a drastic shift for someone who once commanded considerable influence in the entertainment industry. As this investigation continues, it is becoming clear that the story involves more than just Diddy. The implications touch on broader issues related to power, control, and the use of influence to manipulate situations. For years, stories circulated about extravagant gatherings and questionable behavior within certain circles, often dismissed as mere gossip. However, the consistent accounts from numerous individuals, combined with the evidence found during the raids, indicate that these activities were more organized and serious than previously believed. The outcome of this case will depend on the strength of the evidence and the willingness of witnesses to come forward. As more information comes to light, the public is beginning to see a side of fame and power that is rarely discussed openly. Authorities are piecing together a timeline of events that stretches back over a decade, and each new discovery adds depth to the investigation. What do you think about the revelations from the raid and the information that has surfaced so far? The implications of this case extend beyond Diddy, touching on issues of power and influence in ways that many did not anticipate. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on this and other unfolding stories. Make sure to check out our next video for more insights into this complex and rapidly developing situation.